The world watched in horror as the recent escalation of the conflict in Ukraine unfolded. Russian forces launched a series of devastating strikes across the country, targeting key infrastructure and civilian areas. The human cost of this aggression is immense, with thousands reported dead or injured. Homes have been reduced to rubble, families torn apart, and a sense of fear and uncertainty hangs heavy in the air. The already war-torn nation of Ukraine is facing an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. The international community has condemned the attacks, calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities. However, the relentless barrage continues, leaving a trail of destruction and despair in its wake. The world is grappling with the implications of this escalating conflict, as the specter of a wider war looms large. The resilience of the Ukrainian people is being tested like never before, as they fight for their survival and the future of their nation. The echoes of explosions reverberate across the country, a grim reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of war. The world holds its breath, hoping for a swift resolution to this crisis, a glimmer of hope in the face of overwhelming despair. The recent Russian strikes in Ukraine have been characterized by their widespread and indiscriminate nature. Missiles have rained down on cities and towns across the country, targeting critical infrastructure, military installations, and civilian areas. The attacks have employed a range of weaponry, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and artillery fire. The scale and intensity of these strikes mark a significant escalation in the conflict, surpassing anything witnessed in recent years. The impact on Ukrainian infrastructure has been devastating. Power grids have been crippled, communication networks disrupted, and transportation systems severely damaged. The targeting of civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, schools, and residential areas, has drawn widespread condemnation from the international community. The attacks have left a trail of destruction, with entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble and countless families displaced. The human toll of these attacks is immeasurable. Thousands of civilians have been killed or injured, and countless more are missing. The relentless bombing has forced millions to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or in makeshift shelters within Ukraine. The physical and psychological trauma inflicted by these attacks will have lasting consequences for the Ukrainian people. In the face of this unprecedented aggression, the response of the Ukrainian people has been one of remarkable resilience and defiance. Citizens have taken up arms to defend their country, joining the ranks of the Ukrainian military and forming local defense units. Across the country, ordinary people are demonstrating extraordinary bravery, putting their lives on the line to protect their homeland. The international community has rallied in support of Ukraine, providing humanitarian aid, military equipment, and financial assistance. Countries around the world have imposed sanctions on Russia, aiming to cripple its economy and pressure it to end the war. The global outcry against the invasion has been unprecedented, with people from all walks of life condemning the violence and demanding peace. However, the needs in Ukraine are immense, and the humanitarian situation is rapidly deteriorating. Food, water, medical supplies, and shelter are in critical shortage, and the ongoing fighting is making it extremely challenging to deliver aid to those who need it most. The world is facing a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions, and the need for sustained and coordinated international support is paramount. Amidst the statistics and military analysis, it is crucial to remember that behind every casualty figure lies a human story of loss, resilience, and the enduring spirit of survival. The stories emerging from Ukraine are heart-wrenching, painting a vivid picture of the human cost of this conflict. Families torn apart, homes reduced to rubble, and lives shattered by the relentless violence. One such story is that of Maria, a young mother from Kharkiv, whose world was turned upside down when a missile struck her apartment building. She lost her husband in the attack and is now struggling to care for her 2 young children in a makeshift shelter, haunted by the trauma of that fateful day. Maria's story is not unique. It is a story repeated countless times across Ukraine, a testament to the human cost of this senseless war. Despite the immense suffering, stories of resilience and hope also emerge from the rubble. Volunteers risking their lives to deliver aid, communities coming together to support those who have lost everything, and the unwavering determination of the Ukrainian people to defend their homeland. These stories offer a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness, a reminder of the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The conflict in Ukraine is not just a humanitarian crisis, it is also a complex military confrontation, with both sides employing a range of strategies and tactics. Russia's military strategy appears to be focused on overwhelming Ukraine's defenses with massive firepower, targeting key infrastructure and military installations and attempting to encircle major cities. However, the Russian advance has been met with fierce resistance from the Ukrainian military and armed civilians who have effectively used their knowledge of the terrain and urban warfare tactics to slow down the invading forces. Ukraine's strategy has focused on a combination of defensive maneuvers and counter-offensives, utilizing mobile and agile units to target Russian supply lines and logistics. The use of anti-tank missiles supplied by Western allies has been particularly effective in slowing down the Russian armored advance. However, Ukraine faces a significant disadvantage in terms of military hardware and air power, and its ability to sustain a prolonged defense against a much larger and better equipped adversary remains uncertain. The conflict has also become a battleground for information warfare, with both sides utilizing propaganda and disinformation campaigns to shape the narrative and influence international opinion. Social media platforms have become a key battleground, with both sides attempting to control the flow of information and discredit the other's claims. The fog of war makes it challenging to verify information, and the spread of misinformation can have significant real-world consequences. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has sent shockwaves across the world, raising profound questions about the future of international security and the effectiveness of global institutions in preventing large-scale conflicts. The war has exposed the fragility of peace and the devastating human cost of aggression. The world is grappling with the implications of this conflict, as the specter of a wider war and a renewed era of geopolitical instability looms large. The resilience and determination of the Ukrainian people in the face of overwhelming odds serve as a source of inspiration and a reminder of the indomitable human spirit. The international community's response, while commendable, has been insufficient to deter Russia's aggression or alleviate the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Ukraine. The conflict underscores the urgent need for a more robust and effective international system capable of preventing and resolving conflicts, upholding international law, and protecting civilians from the scourge of war. The world watches with bated breath as the situation in Ukraine continues to unfold. The outcome of this conflict will have far-reaching consequences, shaping the geopolitical landscape for years to come. The hope for a swift and peaceful resolution remains elusive as the world grapples with the uncertainty of a future overshadowed by the dark cloud of war.